Have you heard, folks, about the new initiative in that there island to give the lesser jumps trainers a chance? I thought it was a good idea. What they're looking at doing, I think from this year onwards, I think it might be next year, I think it's this year. What they're looking at doing is setting a number of races that the 4 top Irish trainers can't have horses in, to give so many others a chance to get some winners on the board. Now, I've read the figures today and they're startling when you look at it. Startling. I think they're picking 60 races. I wrote these down so I don't get it wrong. I think last year, jumps racing, they had 1,504 races over the national in Ireland. 1,504. They want to make 60 of them races that the top 4 trainers can't have horses in. The way they're doing it is they're saying any trainer that has had less than 50 winners in any of the last 2 seasons, they can enter horses in this race. Any trainer that's had more than 50 in both of the last 2 seasons can't enter any. And the ones that qualify, or don't qualify for the race, you should have say, would be Willie Mullins, Gordon Elliott, Mr. de Bromhead, and old Gavin Cromwell. Now, last year's totals, Mullins had 257 winners, Elliott had 207, de Bromhead 89, and Cromwell 72. He had a particularly good season last year, old Gavin. But the guy that came 5th, the 5th best trainer last year, was old Joseph O'Brien. Did you realise how few he had, folks? Because I was shocked. He had 20. 20. Now, I know he's probably not got the ammo his dad's got. Obviously, he's not. You know, and the jumps is a secondary thing over there rather than the flat. The flat's what the O'Briens are all about, really. Joseph's come from that background. But I couldn't believe how far behind him he was. And if he's 5th, then everybody else is obviously on less than 20. So I'm thinking, well, you can understand this. You know, it gives other trainers a chance for winners because the racing's dominated by those 4 trainers. Anyway, it turns out, and that's the reason for this message, I'm reading that very, very shortly something's being prepared now that's going to go into, is it the Irish, is it the jockey board over there, or the people behind this idea, something through the courts. There's an appeal going on through the courts, I believe. The top 4 trainers have looked at it and they've said it's unfair. It's a restraint of trade and they shouldn't be doing it. Now, I don't know if all 4 trainers are behind it. I've not read the article. I don't know if it's just 1 or 2. I really, really don't. But I thought, well, I can understand the value of doing that, to be honest with you. I can understand the idea of trying to get some trainers and some owners a few more wins on the board. I do get how the big 4 will think, well, you know, is it right? But then again, 60 out of 1,500 isn't a massive amount, is it? Could they not somehow introduce another 60 races on top of the 1,500? I know we've got too much racing. I know we've got too much racing. I know that. But could they not introduce another 60 races on top of the 1,500 and say to the top 4 trainers, look, you had 1,500 races last year. You're going to have 1,500 this year. You can enter in every single race. But these extra 60 are for those that aren't down at the top table. Now, we know there's too much racing in England, Scotland, Wales. There's much too much, especially England. It's horrendous. There's too many meetings every Saturday. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. And the great meetings aren't spaced out enough. It's madness. But in Ireland, there's some weeks where they only have 2 or 3 meetings. Rather than introduce an extra race every day here or there to make the 60 races, what they could do 10 cards of 6 races over the whole of the jump season. And introduce 10 cards, maybe even 1 a week. 1 a week with 6 races, boom, only these trainers can enter. That'd work. It wouldn't take anything away from what the top 4 trainers are fighting for now, because they still have the same amount there for the top 4. Is that not a bit of forward thinking? That could be good. Hey, coming from a grumpy old git, that could be a good idea, you know. Can I get out for this idea if they do it that way? Should be able to, shouldn't I? They won't give me out racing, they're not like that. But that's the way I'd do it. Yeah, I'd frame it like that. Say to those top 4 trainers, okay then, you can still go in the same 1,500, but we're going to create 10 more race days, 6 races a day, and it's for the lesser trainers, the trainers that are struggling. I think that'd work. But that's only me. What do you think? Answers on a postcard, or better still, in the comment section.